In this week's tip here, we have a long left deep rut leading into some rollers here. So in this tip you're going to see two different ways of doing it. One standing up and two sitting down. Most people always sit down in the ruts. I like to stand up a bit in my ruts because I don't feel like I get my feet as caught as much. Sometimes I have more control and I can be a little bit more patient, which will let me to flow around that corner more. When I'm sitting down, you almost have a little bit more tendency of stabbing the brakes or pulling the clutch in or stabbing the gas, whatever it is. When you stand, you have to be a lot more patient through it. So the biggest trick coming into a corner, through the corner, and out of a corner standing up is being on your toes. One, so your feet aren't hanging out and getting stuck in the ruts. Two, that you're gripping the bike. And three, you're unlocking your hips, so now that front end can push, that back end can go, you know, side to side, and you're not going to be affected. You need to be very loose when you're standing up through these corners. As you see there, very, very patient. Sit down on the gas, accelerate out. On my toes right here, my hips are unlocked, my arms are very loose. I'm looking ahead. I sit down right towards the end, gripping the bike and powering out. As you see Jessica coming in, she's sitting down nice and clean, gets her foot back on the peg very quickly. In this clip, she kind of hits her brake right in the middle of the corner, which I would suggest not doing. So you have a little bit more momentum around there and it doesn't offset the bike. But she gets her foot back on very quickly and she powers out very quickly. As you see right there, she kind of hit her brake again right towards the end and it offset the bike. As you see myself right there, my feet is on the balls of the foot and I'm not hitting my brakes, so I have constant momentum going around this corner and my bike isn't getting offset by stopping it. So as you see, two clips right here, one sitting, one standing, and they're about the same speed. And so it's up to you, but I suggest practicing standing up through ruts so you have a bunch of different weapons for the fight that the battle you're getting into, and that's called motocross. You know, the best guy to learn this from is like a Stefan Everts. He stood up everywhere. But when you stand up, you can't brake too hard, you can't gas it too hard, so you have a lot of constant momentum around the track. And so this is two different ways of doing things. Maybe you don't do it in the race, but it's a good thing to practice during the week, so then if something comes up, well, you have two different ways of doing things and you're not just stuck doing it one way. And that's very important in motocross, is having many, many different ways of doing things so you're not just one-dimensional. So again, looking ahead, being on your toes, gripping with your feet, unlocking your hips, and leading with that chest coming out. Good luck.